Well, there's a new proposal out in DC regarding Social Security solvency. So today we're going to break down what's actually being proposed, how much it might affect you and your money, and the questions that it raises for anyone planning around Social Security right now. Welcome in. This is Perfect Game Retirement. Glad to have you. Ben George with Ryan Ledden, certified financial planner over at Black Oak Asset Management. Ryan, Social Security is I know something that you obviously work a lot with clients on. You're very tapped in there. It's a part of the planning process. And look, anytime there's some news out of DC about the future of Social Security, I'm sure it raises some eyebrows, and you probably get a few questions about it.
Yeah, I mean it's constantly, especially with the client base that we mainly work with. I mean, obviously we work with all ages, but we work a lot with pre-retirees. So average client age is in their 50s. So that means we have some that are younger than that and some that are significantly older than that. But Social Security planning is a big part of it. Now, those who are retired and who are receiving it, they're receiving it on a monthly basis. It's those ones who are close, like what does this future look like? I've heard, it's going to be insolvent and we're not going to be able to get as much of a benefit. So I'm not going to even count on Social Security. Well, again, I've talked about this on here before. We still need to account for it until they change it. Now we can make some modifications to your financial plan, but what does the Social Security website say? Let's go off of that. If you want to reduce it from there, I'm okay, but we still need to include it in the retirement plan. And so I've heard a ton of different things that have been proposed on changing, like full retirement age getting moved back, tax people more. So this is a new kind of strategy that I haven't heard too much about, but it's kind of an interesting proposal that DC is tossing around right now.
Yeah, it seems like they're throwing out a bunch of proposals just to see, what could have legs, what might work. And the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget released this plan recently. So let's just get into actually what's being proposed before we talk about who it might affect. So kind of give us the details of what we know right now.
So basically this proposal, it's a means test essentially, which means like it's based off kind of income. So this is another way to spin it, if you will, but it's essentially putting a cap on how much benefit you get. So obviously, the higher income earners that have put in the most to Social Security, they're going to have their benefit reduced to a cap. So it's going to get to a cap and then stop. Kind of like how when we pay taxes into Social Security, there's a wage base, meaning there's a cap. You make a certain amount of income and you don't pay any more. You go up to that cap, you pay 6.2% up to that cap. Then after that cap, you don't pay any more tax into it. Now they could raise that cap, which they do each year. They COLA base it, but they could jump it up even more. That's one way to kind of means test a Social Security tax. But it's essentially saying for married couples, you can only get up to $100,000 and then you stop. And then some people may hear that number and go, well, $100,000, my gosh, how much do you need? Well, there's people that are getting significantly more than that. Around the maximum benefits around $62,000 a year per person if you paid into Social Security for 35 years and maxed it out. That's about what you're getting. So you're talking over $120,000 per year married filing jointly for a couple if they both funded it really well. So they're talking about going up to a cap of $100,000 or $50,000 for an individual. So that's a way to means test it. So that means the people that have paid in a lot into the system, it's putting a cap on there where they're only getting, so much. And it's hopefully keeping that fund more solvent for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I think that's obviously the goal, right, for any of these proposals that come out. And won't affect everyone. Again, still a proposal, but this won't affect everyone. But who would it affect? Who wouldn't affect? Like who should be paying maybe the closest attention to this proposal?
It's going to be a lot of people that we do work with. I mean, because we have clients that are getting significant chunks or who could get significant chunks, and we've done their financial plan based off of what the Social Security estimations are at. So now, is this which I didn't hear a lot of the details. Is it going to affect people who are already getting it, or is it just going to affect the people moving forward? That I'm not too sure about. Man, that's going to be riots in the streets if all of a sudden, you're getting $110,000, $115,000 in Social Security, and now all of a sudden it's down to 100. So I'm hoping if they did something like this, it would be grandfathered in. I say hoping. I mean, it's going to affect me and you, Ben. It could be affect our caps one day. But so there's a lot of gray area with this, but it's an interesting concept of what that looks like. So I'm referencing my notes here because some of the articles spit out a lot of numbers here. So it says right now, very few retirees would hit that cap, which is true, but it is a lot of the people that we do work with. It says by 2060, modeling suggests the cap could reduce scheduled benefits by roughly 24% of the top 1% earners, while leaving basically the bottom 70% untouched. So again, it's a means test. It's showing that it's taxing the wealthier more. Now, again, I don't like to call people wealthy because that is a relative term. Someone who's wealthy in California or New York may be very different than someone in kind of lower cost of living areas. But so it's not going to affect a ton of people, but it is going to affect a ton of people that we do work with.
Yeah, something to be aware of there again, too. Which, again, this will be part of the conversation. If this ever did take place, I know Ryan would be very proactive about having that conversation with people. But it's interesting, like the debate, you kind of go back and forth, Ryan. I know you probably have an opinion on that, but I think it's the disagreement over, what Social Security is supposed to be. One side sees it's a program whose benefit growth has outpaced its original anti-poverty mission. The other sees it as a system you pay into, and then you are owed what is promised. And I think that's kind of where a lot of the debate is. Like, really, what I've been paying in all my life, shouldn't I get what I've been paying into, and that reward that was set up and that program was set up to give me this? Should that be the case? But I know there's a lot of people going back and forth on that.
Yeah, I can see both sides of that controversy there, that discussion, because yes, it was set up where people, I think it was set up where 25 to 1 ratio, 25 people were paying into it to one person. And now I haven't seen like the latest statistics, but I think it's around 3 people are paying into it for every one person receiving it. Yeah. So again, it wasn't meant to do this, but it's what they built and it's what is producing. But yeah, when it was first done in the 1930s, it was the average payout was, I think, like a couple of years. And now it's significantly more. I mean, some people are collecting this for 30 plus years. So yes, the system was not built. It was intended to just keep people out of extreme poverty. And now it's kind of the main source of a lot of people's income when they get to retirement. So yeah, the system wasn't built. So it does have to change. It does have to modify somehow. What that looks like, I don't know. This is a pretty extreme modification, but we'll see if it has any legs to it. There's a lot of things that get tossed around in DC, but yeah, so I do see the argument. Hey, you've paid into it. This is what you should receive. I do understand that. And so some clients, again, talk to me about like, oh, it's not going to be there. Again, you're seeing adjustments and changes that are going to be made. It's going to still be there, in my humble opinion. It's still going to be there. It could be reduced or it could be modified in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah. So we don't know, right? Can't predict the future, but I know you are talking every day with people about Social Security, how to plan around it, what to be, how to view it, how to work it into your income plan. So for anybody in that right now, that's kind of just still kind of on that boat of like, okay, what's this going to look like? What should I be doing right now? What does it mean for your retirement picture? What should your strategies be right now? What kind of discussion should you be having with an advisor?
Yeah. So again, we tell them to pull their statement from SSA.gov, create their own profile if they haven't, because, less and less people are getting those annual statements that they used to send out every single year. They're pushing people to the website. And so we tell people to pull. I want to know, don't give me an estimation. Oh, it's $2,800 a month. No, I want to know, is it $2,818 a month? Like, I want to know the exact estimation. Pull that from the website, and the Social Security website has gotten much better. It's very intuitive, and it paints a very clear picture of what your benefits look like from 62 to 70. We want to know those exact numbers. So we can put those in. The main number we want is your FRA, full retirement age. And for most people who are on the doorsteps of retirement, it's 67. So it's anyone born after 1960. Age 67 is your FRA, or full retirement age. So we plug that into the software, and then the software will do the math on adding it up to age 70 or taking the reduced benefit at 62. It does calculations on spousal benefits, a whole bunch of different strategies that you can do. But from there, yes, if we want to reduce the benefit, because I think the numbers, what does it say? 2032 is the insolvency year. If nothing's done, you get 75% of your benefit. Okay, if you want to do that and have 75% of your benefit in the calculation, I'm okay with that. We still need to account for it, so we can have kind of dual plans going on at the same time. One of the full benefit that it's showing you, and then the other one at 75%. And heck, if we want to model this new proposal out of capping it at $50,000 per person, if that's, if someone's income is above that from a Social Security standpoint, we can do that as well. So we can model out anything that people want, but we do need to definitely account for it. But yeah, something's got to be done. 2032 is kind of the hard deadline of, hey, this is the insolvency date. Something's got to be done before then. So now we're starting to see Congress really start to scramble for some ideas.
Yeah, kind of scary to think how close 2032 actually is from now, but it's
quick.
It is right around the corner, right? So again, this is a proposal, right? It's not law. It may never be, but you do want to start thinking about Social Security now. You want to better understand it now, plan around it, so that you're not surprised a little bit later on should the government change the way things are handled with the program. So now's the time to plan. If you haven't done that with an advisor, haven't had conversations, you can always get in touch with Ryan at speakwithryan.com. Get on his calendar. You can also check out blackoakam.com as well to learn more about the planning process and what Ryan and his team over at Black Oak Asset Management do every single day with clients. But I know it's a topic that's important to people. You're always thinking about it, want to know more about Social Security changes that could be on the horizon. So hopefully this helped you out a little bit understanding what's currently proposed. But we'll see what the next proposal comes, Ryan, because I'm sure they'll have some other idea here before too long as well.
Yep, they'll have plenty to throw out. Something's got to eventually stick, and we'll see what that plan is.
Yeah, we'll be here to talk about it. So please hit subscribe. We appreciate that support as always. Thanks for being a part of Perfect Game Retirement.